There was a very dangerous comment made in the cover of a visit of President Trump to British monarchy, and that was about comment in reference to Britain being country that have long history of the best artificial intelligence of the planet. This was a very dangerous comment. Country known for the best artificial intelligence. They are referring to British historic heritage. They are referring to Serbia. And they are referring to Africa, but mostly to Serbia. That's going to indicate that a considerable amount of Serb people are used for production of artificial intelligence. That kind of statement is declaring war between Russia and America, and is going to melt down Britain as never ever existed on the map of the planet. With statements like this that look more like lizard protocol, you have already sealed your destiny. I'm afraid there is not much that we can talk anymore. Vast lands of reptilian society. My answer to that would be, you're too much harsh. You're too much rushing on the subject that cannot afford even to spell out. And that is the code of human and human intelligence before you reach any further reference. You can speak of something else when you first introduce who on earth is yourself. As you continue to delay or totally avoid that kind of confrontation, whatever you say for another day in regard of intelligence will be held against you. With that kind of comment, you have destroyed that bridge rather than strengthening it. I'm going to seek for every single person of our territories present on British and American territories increased level of protectionism. Hold together, do not go outside all by yourself. Bring strong circles around yourself and make clear where is your line with the other side. We are going to deal with reptilian society, and we are charting that line right now, today. Artians. Britain and USA declared reptilian territories as of today, officially. My verdict for today. Further to that, I'm not sure that I'm actually very confident that Germany is not also the second better answer, considering the fact that I would need to actually draw the line here not on the level of zoo or on the level of jungle, but on the level of real world versus W world versus world that basically can be called, because of that W protocol so much present, can be called actually new world. Now, there are a very heavy list of arguments why new world would like to detach from the old world. But we have to be very careful how this entire situation can easily get into its extreme positions, as where it is right now, getting for quite some time, certainly after Second World War, getting heavily on the side of New World, a New World trying to re-emerge within some kind of overtaking attitude, which we have problem to understand as a planet. There is therefore a fine line where the new world becomes extremism or agenda. Also here, what can be concluded that when we draw the line somewhere where is Berlin Wall, obviously, we don't talk about old world on the left side, because what remains on the left side is the new world, the new society altogether that would happen as a new or later development of later civilizational development. Accordingly, that is new society. Now here, to relate to more authentic or older and newer or newcomer becomes is reaching different level of polarization and different level of standardization as what would be newer and what would be older. Pay attention to that. Neither we can use Darwin protocol here as argument, because we have to be solidly within category protocol human first and foremost. Pay attention to details. So therefore, first we are in category protocol human, and then we are going to talk about what is newer and what is older in terms of civilizational development, because human is associated and attached to protocol human civilization in the way how it is unrolling on our planet. And in that context, in the context of human civilizational development, we can talk about newer and older protocols or societies. And then it is again very straightforward that West will end up to be newer and East is going to be older. Both of the areas will have a list of issues we will need to deal with. But let's not be confused here with how we can now find all of this positioned initially. Now, if one wants to talk about intelligence, here intelligence becomes a matter of, are you newer event, newer development, or your older development? And obviously older societies withhold plenty of some kind of structure, although that will need to be filtered. And somewhere in this kind of how I detect as Eastern European, that is the immediate line with older societies, or Middle East, if we are going to find therefore Middle East and the rest of the Eastern territory, somehow Europe becomes the critical momentum where somehow the new world versus the previous reemerges, versus the Byzantine, for example, reemerges. Roman imperialism equally reemerges as a later answer, as a better answer than Byzantine. And I have no intention really to go too much into that previous, because I believe it will need to be filtered in the way how that naturally happens as you continue to walk towards the West. The next region is therefore Eastern Europe, where Middle East becomes filtered by the Western criteria and become its next translation. Now that is to me that critical point, to notice how the time is walking here and how historic heritage walks accordingly. And if I happen to deliver this rather contemporary and very much uniting discussion about on the levels of nothing less but constitution of Earth, and Westworld continue to have all of their hands over me, trying to drag it on their side, I would really need to understand what is the intention here. First of all, I can understand you would like to realize yourself on next level, and you would like to become whatever you want to become on next level. But when that affects us and our developments and our freedom and our existence, then you have a problem as well, not just us. And that is where we are here. At the point of realization that you are not enough sufficient to top up the world, will continue to live with such kind of idea and ambition. And Donald Trump continued to think that my definition of Statue of Liberty is his definition of Statue of Liberty, and he is willing to continue to play the character. It becomes rather a burlesque. Entire West concept becomes burlesque. Complete burlesque. Total burlesque. If Donald Trump is going to compete with me on Statue of Liberty, then we are talking American burlesque. Exactly and precisely. American burlesque. I have given crown to Olymp, to Central Plateau, because it has been established, because I have noticed that is where we are finding today the critical momentum of older societies walking to the times. I simply found critical momentum on the central line. It is how it is, that's it. You go further on west, the line is declining. Now that is being said in context of planetary analysis, not in context of your national self-realization. But if your national self-realization continue to meddle with our existence, then we have a problem. This should be properly understood. And my idea of bringing this conversation on West continue to be, sounds completely ridiculous and having absolutely no any ground. Today I just wonder how on earth I could have lived with such kind of idea at all. What on earth I have been thinking? After all of the history that happened in all of the recent times, what on earth I have been thinking? We certainly are having nice deploy of where we are right now and how things are right now. And I have to notice that today I have to draw these lines even on territory of former Yugoslavia, where I'm going to find west side of Yugoslavia completely in a limbo space, totally detached, therefore, from the ancient ground that I hold today with this presentation. And as much as west side of the country continue to be so easily walking into limbo space each time, I'm really going to continue. We will certainly need to continue to bring this discussion in Balkan as well, as far as it takes. As far as it takes, communication is certainly on Balkan as well. When I'm going to be bombarded either from the Muslim extremism on one side, meddling on Orthodox territory as this former Yugoslavia, or where I need to deal with some kind of artificial European aristocracy sitting there, which is also making you sick to your stomach, or I need to deal with some kind of misery of the south part, completely buried upon its own history. That is opposite, burying its own history. It says Olymp continues to be in the clouds, but as long as technology is assisting my cloud work, the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is on. Pay attention to details. You want to speak about artificial intelligence? Let's talk first about intelligence. England and USA, let's talk first about intelligence. what will need to be concluded, that what Muslim territories, Muslim religion, hear me well here, what in all of the times appear to be as a very painful and very hostile relationship with our Orthodox world, Muslim territories, where you continue to occupy our Orthodox territories, to see your massive deploy on the West using our resources is going to be further departure of our Orthodox religion and our Orthodox territories from your Muslim religion. And as much as you would like to use this technology to awaken in your Muslim teaching, I'm going to confront you with my Orthodox teaching accordingly. The Bible started also with the sentence. Our Bible starts with the sentence of do not touch or do not go or do not eat from the tree of knowledge. Certain lines have been drawn among these religions. And today, obviously, we reached with this conversation exactly that biblical reference. Muslims, this is going to be addressed to you and your W world on the other side of the equation. And Muslim, I am not. Let's make perfectly clear, Muslim, I am not. Neither you have won the stage today. My letter M stands for mother, not for Muslim. I'm not exactly that much as a stick protocol, as it is olive to Popeye. I'm not olive to Popeye. I'm not olive character exactly. Muslims, and so you have been spoken to. Keep your line safely. Muslims, where is the tree of knowledge? Muslims, you have your question for today. And you Westerlays on the other side, what's up? Popeye or olive? Or none of the above? Or all of the above? Westerlays, what's up? You want something? What is that? Westerlays, question for today. What you want? And I'm not little. I have Russia and I have China. And I have Africa and I have South America. To me, that sounds as I'm actually bigger than you. And also I have India. Because believe me, India is not going to go anywhere else before it is to go to its own temple. If India doesn't go to its temple, what kind of India that would be? And you want to talk about the size of my power? Well, let's think again. Westerlays and Muslim. Let's think again. I circle you in Middle East and I square you on the West. End of discussion. So if you have anything that you have to tell me, well then you have to tell me directly. And stop talking about me like some kind of cowards. Time that you talk to me actually, not about me. Muslims, stop playing cowards. Muslims, stop playing cowards. You want to talk to me? Talk to me. Let's see how that's going to go. I have a problem to understand why everyone is going going to England as England is having some kind of magic stick or something. England doesn't have a magic stick, neither a magic answer. Someone will need to deliver that to England. So I have no idea what on earth you're going to negotiate with England when England doesn't have anything at all in that entire situation. Why going in England all of a sudden is so important for France or so important for Americans? What is in England? As I understand, that becomes center of artificial intelligence later. That sounds to me as we need to wipe it down rather than to go there. As if something is sealed as of today is that I will not be buying ticket for England anytime soon. Let's seal on that as well. Forever. As long as it is necessary. As I really don't know on what ground someone is going to be attracted that much by that island of mud and madness, of historic madness. Watching TV just would be good enough. I think you're flattering to yourself a bit too much. Maybe you don't decide about anything whatsoever. I really don't know. But if you're Muslims so much handicapped, which I hardly can believe, it is time that we launch Protocol Earth, from where we can safely actually declare it. And it's not going to sound Muslim at all. It has been rightfully declared from the beginning of this entire journey in which I found myself declared as a very dangerous situation, Muslims, because of their kind of bio-extreme presence, which was associated to some kind of extraterrestrial platform. I really don't know how much it is extraterrestrial and how much it is terrestrial, but it is certainly spreading out of being deficient. And that's the problem here. Muslims are not self-sufficient. That is the problem. And when they go wherever they go and create further army of dependency, it becomes as a disease spreading all over the planet. That's the problem here. To the extent that England has been center of Muslim presence for a longer period of time, to the extent that have Muslimized the headquarters and the entire White House of America, which is certainly none of them are a reference to Orthodox, but a reference to Muslim. I'm sorry, but we are far, far away from reaching any solution anytime soon. Even less I am convinced that these territories would ever qualify for leading the world at all. My next effort would be to actually take United Nations from there and bring it in Europe. Everything then else can be done quickly or fast or slowly. But it will need to be that we would be talking about most profound reform in human history so far. And also Muslims, by the way, there would have been only one Elizabeth, not two. Muslims, there would have been only one Elizabeth, not two Elizabeths. Only one Elizabeth. Sincerely, I don't like at all what I needed to say. I was resisting for 15 years to say what I have said today. I really don't like to say what I have said. I have been fighting for you 15 years. I have been defending you 15 years. And it looks to me altogether as stabbing Caesar in his back. And if I have to choose between Caesar and one that have stabbed him in his back, I will choose Caesar. That is where we are Muslims. Muslims, the one that is sorry for this discussion that I feel enforced to present it. I feel like pushed in the corner. The one that is sorry for saying all of this, first and foremost, is myself. And if I can look in the lightest chance that we amend what I have said today, I would be very happy that we get there. My letter X in proposition remains, but that is my letter S. That is my cross I hold today, not yours. Not to tribunal gadgets around you, willing to speak only about market and trade and nothing else. I am the one holding this sword, Muslims, with which I declare this planet and put on the ground my trust in the planet. If that's not enough, this is my second song. And my third one will be going after the gadgets, willing to trade it all. Let's put this in order how it goes. Artians, salute! I will notice also that something has been totally enforced in this sudden visit of Donald Trump to monarchy of England. First of all, the first question is how we can reconcile with the fact that Donald Trump is basically a real estate tradesman, while monarchy of England is actually representing real estate. Monarchy today will need to be on side of resources that are for sale. And if are to be related to historic heritage today, that will be validated from the point of providing protectionism to temples and older DNA protocols that continue to be very much demanded on international trade market. That is how I saw you. I saw you as some kind of roof under which I can hide my DNA definition by trying to say or to impose that real estate, the real blood matters rather than traders to walk ahead and above us, above the humanity. We'll step away from it's not going to be just trading historic heritage protocols and accounts and the real bloodlines, but also the human in whatever of usefulness that can be found. And I found monarchies as a roof under which I can seek that kind of protectionism. And now you're inviting number one tradesman of real estate. How on earth we can understand that? I think you have been rushing things. Just what I have said yesterday about White House. And really, I don't know why you're rushing things. Is it that Donald Trump is having some agenda? Because he is just using any opportunity he can use to jump somewhere and to use low defense protocol to get there. As much as I have declared today common denominator between England and USA, that was actually about the White House, not about American Federation, or USA, that is. Let's be reminded, USA is a republic, not a monarchy. As much as I declared I recognized White House as how I recognize it, I have not approved it, I have not certified it. It is more like you just sort out things before you are going to deal with them. And you're just jumping out of it? Well, in what context exactly? America is a republic, for God's sake. And also it is consisted of very strong French presence, very strong Russian presence, very strong Italian presence, very strong Spanish presence, and very strong South American presence. And what on earth you think is going to happen next with your White House? Well, they just might bring it in England, and then you're going to close that story altogether. Although I don't think that's going to happen as well, because Donald Trump is using it for his real estate trading purposes, which is completely paradoxical to what it's supposed to mean. Now, when you solve that mathematical equation, you might celebrate as well, not before. On what ground on earth you allow yourself so much rewarded with various celebrations now and then? Well, you have that much of problems to solve. Who on earth you think is going to solve your problems? Hunters or hunted, what you have chosen to be. Let's see how far your history weighs really. Ladies and gentlemen, let's follow the standards. That is the golden ratio, right? The symmetry of all of the universe. The symmetry of the nature. Talking about your history, or you're talking about hunting it?